Hi, I'm Ross Trachtenberg with Figure It Out Baseball. I'm a recruiting coordinator at Westchester University in Pennsylvania, and I'm sharing with you some insight into the recruiting process. In this video, I want to focus on really how to build a profile for yourself, or essentially a one-page resume, or to really send out to college coaches as a means of an introduction. In another video, I will go ahead and share with you really how to put together your own skills video. But for this one, I want to kind of just tell you about what facts are kind of most important to us as coaches that we want to see, and also what may not be as necessary. So when you put together an email to a coach, you can certainly use a blanket form, meaning you're using the same information again and again about yourself. You want to tailor each email to the specific coach. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a future video. But in terms of kind of the body of your email, it's really sharing some specifics, kind of figures and fixed figures about yourself. So the important information and again, this goes for most all coaches across the country. Full name. You'll be surprised how many emails I get where the player doesn't actually put their name in. What your preferred name is too. So if you're listed as Charles but you prefer to go by Charlie, put that in the email. Year of graduation is really important to make sure that Division I and Division II we're permitted to speak to you, again based on NCAA rules. You can always reach out to us, but we can only reply to you at certain points in your academic career. Go ahead and let us know where you're from, including your state. So telling us that you're from Smithville doesn't really help us. You have to let us know again what state you're from as well. High school is fine to include as well. Best email address, this should be yours. You can include parents too, that's fine, but make sure that the recruit specifically has their email address and it's something appropriate. First name, last name, graduation year, opposed to fireball thrower 99 at yahoo.com. Phone number, so again, best phone number for you if it's a cell phone. Again, you can include parents' numbers, home numbers as well, but again, making sure we have the player's phone number in there is really important. Home address is certainly fine. I think having the home, again, state, city and state's really important though as well. Generally that's what colleges are looking for when they're just from the admission standpoint is are you in state, are you out of state, what region of the country are you from. So that's kind of some of the fixed information I think is most important. The next level of information I'd say would be your academic profile. And again, your fixed figures. So what is your GPA and what's it out of? Go ahead and let us know PSAT, SAT, and ACT scores, whatever you've taken. And if you have an upcoming date, then you can certainly state that as well. And then if you do have an intended major, I think it's worthwhile to include that. Make sure that the coach you're emailing, the school does have that major. Many times I'll get an email saying I'm looking forward to being a marine biologist, and I look at our academic majors at the university and we don't have that. So again, that's going to kind of stop a conversation before it really gets started. If you're undecided, then that's perfectly fine. You can list that or leave that out. And then on the baseball end, I think simply giving whatever figures you have, so kind of things that are easy to check. So a 60-yard dash time would be a really good one. A home to first time. So again, these are measuring how fast you are. If you've got velocities, so how hard you throw the ball. If you're a pitcher, you can list again all your pitches, what velocities you throw them at. If you're a position player and you know that information, that's worthwhile to say as well. If you're a batter, then how hard the ball comes off your bat, so ball exit speed's a good measurement. And again, if you have trouble kind of getting these facts and figures, your high school coach should be able to help you find these out. And if you don't have them, you don't have access to a radar gun, that's perfectly fine. These are things that a coach can get from you at a later time if they're interested. Catcher, their pop times, that would be the time from when the ball hits the catcher's mitt at home plate to the time that the ball arrives at second base on a throw. It touches the mitt at second base, so what your pop time is if you have that. And again, giving us this information is great. It gives us a little sense about you as a ball player. We're going to check these facts and figures through any number of resources, whether they're other websites that verify information, talking to coaches, and then obviously seeing you in person. Height and weight, I think, is a good one to include. Some coaches care greatly about it. If you're not 6 feet tall, then they're not interested in you. Other programs really don't care. I would say, kind of my preference is, can you play the game? Does it look like you're strong enough to play at the level that we expect at Westchester? But if you're not a specific height or specific weight, that's really not something that I put into my into my thought process in that initial evaluation. But again, the next school may. So including it's not a bad thing. Think about highlighting yourself. So if you're not a fast runner, then not including your 60 time is certainly fine as well. So these are kind of the key points that are worthwhile to put into your initial profile. Statistics aren't really necessary. Awards aren't really necessary. Again, in this initial email, those can be checked and that information can be shared at a later date. And the reason for this is simply, I don't know every high school program in the country or conference or competition level. So if you hit 400 in your league, terrific, but I don't know if that's actually good or not. If it's a really low level of competition, then maybe we're looking for somebody that hits well above 400. And same thing for a pitcher. If you strike out one batter per inning and didn't walk anybody, terrific. But again, what was the level of play? Should you have really been striking out two batters per inning at that level again? And the flip side is, if you're a 250 hitter and it's a super strong league and we know that and we can see the competition, then a 250 hitter might look better than a 400 hitter, again, depending on the level of competition. And we're, again, as a coach, generally not going to know that until we get a little bit deeper into the process. So focusing on those types of things aren't as necessary. Think about those fixed figures that are really easy for a coach to understand, appreciate, and use to compare kind of to what they look for and to what other recruits can potentially bring to the table. I hope this video is helpful for you in terms of what are some of the key pieces of information that we as recruiters are looking for in a profile. The next video is really going to touch on how to build a skills video so we can actually see you in action.